We were nothing but slaves, nothing but animals who carried no pride or loyalty, who felt no sorrow, sympathy, or emotion. We labored because we had no soul, they said, because we had no heart, because we were savages, corrupters of justice. In other words, we were black. They rounded us in camp, serving us little food, so we only had enough strength to live and work for them. We were forced to build houses for nobles and huge sculptures of Titus as a merit for victory against other countries in war. In the process of building these sculptures of Titus, that took several months, even years, because of their humongous size. I lost the only thing that I cherished most on this corrupt planet, the thing I most valued. That no devil of Rome could exterminate, my father smiled. The same lazy grin that he wore every day, that not even time could graze, that optimistic personality I was dazzled by and lost in as a child. It all began on a scorching hot day, on day 5 of the project. He leaned back to wipe the sweat on his forehead and collapsed to his death. I was 27, and my father was 43. I buried his corpse with my tears on Monday, April 1856. The devils of Rome, without batting an eye, concluded that his death was a cause of heat stroke, which was sugar-coated to the point where their death was appropriate to me. My father died of hard work. He put his soul and his heart into his work as a slave, while others rested cheaply. He worked on, even with the restriction of food and water on hot days. This was because he admired Titus. He wanted everything Titus had: a huge family, status, fame, wealth, color. The list was endless. Yet, he always smiled, and never was he jealous. Oh. I don't hate them. They simply don't understand that we are equal, he'd say ever so often in our arguments. They'll understand once they're in their graves, once their graves are dug and their families scattered. I stared at his eyes, full of anger and heat. His left fist connected to my jaw that day. I didn't bother to stand as I sank to the floor. He didn't understand. He never would. His greatest characteristic, his big soft heart of gold, was his downfall. On the day of his death, I gripped his body tightly, waiting for him to wake. The pain was rising slowly, grasping onto my chest, and my breath was stolen. Something sank to great depth in my heart. It echoed like the shattering of glass, yet it was but a tiny fragment. Knowing his grin would never come by, my heart passed on, and my chest echoed like an empty room. My father wasn't the only thing I lost that day. I understand now that this world is evil, that justice is revenge and good is as corrupt as evil. I'll make them pay, Father. I'll drag them to the grave, and their families, every boy and cattle, every mother and girl, and maybe then I'll see your grin.